Hey, how's it going, Phil? It's me. Just unboxed this one-piece prop shaft from Northwest Prop Shafts. They did a 24-hour turnover for me, which was absolutely ridiculous. And yeah, we're gonna fire it into the car and see if it's gonna mate up with the Winter's Quick Change and the Samsonis sequential. I can't pronounce it. The sequential gearbox and the s14.5. Thanks for tuning in again for another volume of the Pro Vlog. I hope you enjoyed, or hope you're enjoying the series of videos that I'm doing following the build. Could I be building my car quicker if I wasn't filming? Yeah, I probably could, but where's the fun in that, eh? So, in the last episode we trial fitted the Winter's Quick Change with the Group D subframe. We had to cut a little bit of the chassis and I run out of cutting disc and run out of time, so what I've done since is I've cut a little bit more out, a lot more material, and I really hoped I've had to cut out the chassis, but it's okay, we're going to sort that out. And when we come to the fabrication side of the build, I'll show you that when I come to welding reinforcements back in. But what we're going to do now is we're going to try this drive shaft into the car and see if it's going to fit. Tell you about some of the features of this drive shaft. I've went for a Nissan style slip joint up here. It's got a Nissan 4-bolt flange on it to meet the Nissan flange and the Samsonis, the sequential gearbox. And there is a big Hardy Spicer, or a big universal joint at the back for going into the Winter's Quick Change. After a conversation with Northwest Prop Shafts, I was going to go for a 3.5-inch drive shaft. But when I discussed the options with them, they pointed out that a bigger drive shaft's more bulk, it's more rotational mass, and the 3-inch is, you know, it's not strong. So we've opted for that. I don't know if I'm going to regret that later, because a lot of the big competition guys are running 3.5-inch drive shafts. But I'm hoping this is a pretty solid setup, and they've got the stuff on the shelf. I'm pretty sure they could turn a replacement round for me in a day. So fingers are crossed, here's hoping I've done the right thing. Let's see if it's going to fit in the car. Right, the good news is it fits. I got a bit worried there with the universal joint at the Winter's Quick Change. It was a bit tight to go in, but it went in. One problem I have is these bolts that come with the original prop shaft, the Clark Motorsport. I think they got them from Northwest Prop Shafts, but they're a bit chunkier than what's going to fit in, so I'm going to have to change that. But right, so the prop shaft sorted and out the way. I feel like that's a job that would have been a last minute thing closer to the end of the build, and it would have been a pain in the ass. So that's sorted out and that's out the way. Let's have a closer look at the Winter's Quick Change differential. Come with me. Whoop. So the Winter's Quick Change differential. You wonder if I get sponsorship money for every time I say Winter's Quick Change differential. Do you think they'll like add that up and they'll maybe give me some money for that? Oh, it's very doubtful. Right, this is an aluminium motorsport differential. I suppose that's the best way to put it. This isn't a limited slip differential like my GTR diff was. I've opted for a spool diff this time, so it's just a solid piece of metal in the middle that joins the two axles. So in my opinion, it's the strongest way of going about it. Ups and downs from using this. you'll maybe have run a welded diff before, you'll maybe have run LSD before, and you'll understand the differences. But for me personally, the limited slip differential was really good on deceleration, so it opens up the diff a bit and it gives you a bit more grip. Whereas I found if you took your foot off the throttle in the wrong place, sometimes the diff would open, and not that you should have your foot off the throttle, but it makes it a little bit more difficult to drive a car. You have to drive a lot more commitment. Now, there could be arguments for either or. If you're Dwayne McKeever and you're a super duper driver, you might find that a limited slip differential is better for you, or you might find that reliability is more what you're after, and in my opinion a more reliable diff is the spool diff. But I'm sure there'll be debates about that. If you want to drop in the comments if you think I'm speaking rubbish, then please go for it. So this is the business end, the changeable gears in the back of the diff. So if I remove this plate, that wasn't even sped up, that was real time. But a lot quicker if I'd held on and not bought the basic one and bought the one with the fancy cover with only 6 bolts. But hey, we'll live and learn. This one will be more than adequate. This back cover comes off like so. Should not damage the gasket. Hey, quick change. You take the back off, you've got a choice of 2 gears on the back of the differential. And yeah, these come in different sets, as you will see here. This is a 411, this is the original that comes with the diff. And that gives you 2 21 tooth gears. Put them together and that gives you a final drive of 411, which is what a standard R32 or R33 GTR diff is. Or you could opt for the gears that I've got in, which are I think it's a 3.7 and a 4.6. So how that works is with the 26 tooth on the top and the 29 tooth on the bottom, that gives me a ratio of 3.7. If I turn them the other way, that'll give me a ratio of 4.6. So that's how quick change differential works. Idea being, if you're down the track and you feel that you're rattling the top end of third gear, rattling the limiter, you can put in a slightly bigger drive or a slightly smaller drive, and that will take the revs down. Housing is separate for the oil supply as well, so you've got a oil level in the main housing, then you've got an oil level in the back section. So when you remove the back plate, you only lose the oil out of the back section, which can be replaced from, there's a port on the side here. The idea being you can change it down to the track pretty quick. So that is, in effect, my very basic description of the Winters quick change differential, and hopefully we'll get a better look at using it once we get the car going again, whenever that happens. As you can imagine, a lot quicker than changing a diff down at the track, which would have been a pain in the arse. And also I don't have a spare one of these. It's one less thing I have to carry in my van down to events, unless I get to the point where I feel I'm going to need a spare one of these, which I don't think is going to be the case. If I'm breaking this, then there's going to be serious problems. Drive shaft wise, I'm not going to be running the GTR shafts like I thought I was going to be. I'm going to go for some of these Wisefab shafts, I think. So when I get the chance, I'm going to get them ordered, and you can get a look at them when I come to fit the back end and the suspension arms. Right, just to round out this video, I'll give you a bit of catch up what we've been doing, other than changing hairstyles. We have taken a bit of weight out of the car. Now, previously I'd put in covers in the inner doors and put in supports for holding the plastic, and I think we're really being quite strict with our weight loss regime in the car, so I can do without them supports because other drivers don't use them. James Dean doesn't use them, so I'm going to pull them out. Yeah, we took the plastic windows out, which was really easy. And here at the back of the car, we're just doing a bit of welding. We've tacked in two 1.5mm plates either side, and I'm putting in this 30mm support. I'm hoping it's not going to be too big. I've tacked it in place, and we're going to fit the subframe with the Winter's Quick Change again, just to make sure that it's going to clear properly. Right, so that's me all fitted up, and as you can see, it fits pretty damn good. There's about 5mm clearance between the diff and the bar, and the support on the back of the subframe isn't hitting either. I've had it bolted up and I'm happy with it. Now, what I totally didn't do is just put it all together and find out it was actually touching the diff, then off camera take it out, cut it and re-weld it again. That totally didn't happen. But I'm happy with how that's turned out. I've just to weld it up solid, but you tack it all, make sure it fits first, then it can get welded up. Make sure I haven't pulled anything out of shape. You really need to try and get everything fitting tight without any gaps, so that it doesn't pull when you weld it up solid. Right, now that's done, let's get this wrapped up. There's only one thing left to do to the Winter's Quick Change, and that is a breather setup that has to be attached to it. I'll do that a little bit closer to the end of the build, so stay tuned for that. Next step for the car is I have to fabricate arches for it, inner arches, and there's a crash structure to go on for the fuel cell. Also, we've really to get the rest of the car stripped down, ready for going away to Calm Haze fabrication for roll cage modifications, and a new exhaust gearbox tunnel, and a firewall in the back of the car. So stay tuned for that in the next episode. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd be so kind to follow us on all the social media, Facebook and Instagram. Remember to hit that like button, it seems to be quite important for YouTube at the moment. And of course, if you want to see more content from me, hit the subscribe button as well. Thanks very much for watching, see you next time.